Welcome back to the Craft Castle. So recently I did get the new Siser Romeo, and so I am trying to do everything I can to learn that program and make the Siser work for me. I have been a longtime crafter with the Cricuts, and so I have really just been trying really hard to learn the program. So today I have made it my mission to create a t-shirt design inside the Romeo Leonardo design studio. This right here is the t-shirt design that a local cake baker of mine would like to see on a shirt. This is her shirt from Shein, and this is what the back of the shirt is going to look like. Something that looks like that. So I could very well just go and use the Cricuts. I mean, I have 8 of them. I could just go ahead and use that, but I do want to try and use the Romeo. So let's see if I can come up with something that looks like that. Okay, so going back over into the Leonardo, this right here is the design program. This is what it looks like. Okay, so the very first thing I need to do is go over here into a text box, and I just need to add in my text. Okay, so I have the first part of that t-shirt design put up there, and now I need to change my font, and I use the Absolute Groovy font for this, so I'm just going to find that font. Nope, it's right here. Okay, then I don't know if I want to auto weld this text, so I'm just going to leave it alone and then press apply. Okay, so when I did that, this popped up right here. So now what I'm going to do is go over here into this like little wavy looking thing, and with this clicked, I am just going to press this button, and it automatically did it for me. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, cool. So I know in Cricut Design Space, in order to get this feature, you have to pay for Cricut Access to get this like warp feature, and it looks like over here I didn't have to pay for anything. Well, I do have that free trial, so I don't know if this is like a forever thing or what, but like I didn't have to pay for anything, so that's cool. Okay, so now I'm going to right click on my thingy, and let's go into paths and then ungroup the path. Yeah, because I want this line right here to be the light blue color. So now I'm going to change that over into a blue HTV. Okay, and then this one right here, I want to change it over to a like yellowish color. So doing that. This one right here, I want to change to a green. And this one right here, I want to change over to a pink. Okay, and I think I want to move the lines up just a little bit like in my original design. So I'm just gonna highlight my lines and just move them up with my keyboard. This is looking cute, yeah? Okay, now let's go over into their design library and let's see if they have like a cake. Just like these. Let's see if they have a cake. I don't know. I've not played in their designs, so I don't even know if they do. Let's do cake. Okay, there's a cupcake right here, and all the rest of them aren't really what I'm looking for. So let's go back over to design. Okay, I'm going to insert another text box at the bottom that has my cake baker's social media sign. Let me go into text box and another text box, and I'm going to do okay, and then this is the BBoss font. Ooh, that's really large. Okay, drag that down here, and then this one was going to be purple, so I'm going to make it purple. Okay, I want to make sure that everything is the like grouped together and centered, so I'm just going to select just the top line right here. Right click and press group, doing the same with the bottom lines. And this T right here, I'm just going to drag it over just a little bit so it's not connected because no other letter is connected. Okay, right click, press group, and I'm going to leave this the way it is because it's already grouped still. So now I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go over here and center it. So everything is nice and centered. It looks really good. Okay, so going back over into Cricut Design Space, I want those cutouts. Those particular cutouts. My cake girl really liked them. So I'm just going to make this big. I'm going to select one of my cakes and duplicate it just to get it away from the rest of it. I'm going to change this over to black, and I'm going to take a screenshot of just this little cake. So Command-Shift-4 on your keyboard, and I'm just taking a little screenshot. Okay, I'm going to let that go to my desktop, and then I'm going to go over here and I am going to find that pink one and do the same thing that I did with the other cake. So Command-D, which is duplicate, and I'm just going to drag that over. Instead of being pink, I want it black, and now I'm going to take a screenshot of that. Okay, so I need to import those cake pieces. So I'm going to press Command-I, which is import. I'm going to find my file. Okay, you only can do one at a time. So I'm going to click one and I'm going to press open. This is going to pop up. I want to do a print then cut and then just press next. Everything in the background is removed. You can see it with that checker. That's perfect. So I'm just going to press next again. I want to include the holes. So all the holes I want to include. Oop, but it looks like there's going to be some missing ones here. So let's go back. Okay, by dragging over that contour area, I was able to like reveal the holes for the inside of the cherries and the candles, which is exactly what I wanted. So then I'm just going to press next, and it looks good to me. So I'm going to press finished. Okay, so there is my cut. Now what do I want? I want it to be cut. A cut tool. Okay, so we're gonna do a cut, and okay, so it looks like it's gonna want to be like a print then cut, like there's two layers here. So I'm just gonna right click and press path and then ungroup paths. I am going to delete this one right here. I don't think I'm gonna need that one. And then for this one, it looks like it's gonna be a cut in a solid line. I like it. And in my original design, the cake with the cherries was pink. So I'm going to change this over to the pink. Okay, now let's do Command-I, and we're going to import the other one and press open and repeating the same process. So I'm going to go print then cut, press next. Looks like I can see all the checkered boards, so that's good. So I'm just going to press next. I want to make sure that everything on the inside of my cake is revealed. Right here you can see that it's missing the blue lines. So I'm just going to bump this down until the inside portion of that little cake. See how now you can see a line there? That's exactly what I want. I want the inside of that. Okay, when I have that done, just press next. That's going to be my cutout. Press finish. Doing the same thing as I did before, I'm just going to right click and press paths and then ungroup paths. I'm going to drag over that shadow one and then delete this. I don't even know if this is the correct way to do things. I don't want it to be a print then cut job, so I'm just going to remove those. You can see those like registration marks. I'm just going to remove them because I don't want it to be a print then cut. Okay, and so for this one in my original design, it was blue. So I'm going to go and change this over into blue. You can click this right here, and all my colors in use are all right here, which is really cool. So I'm just going to get that blue and press apply. Okay, now let's resize this real quick and to fit on our project board. I don't even know if this is going to work. We shall find out. Okay, so this is going to be our project board. So I'm just going to press send, and then only include the artwork that's printed, that's on the mat. Okay, so I could either use current mat location in page, or I can move the layers to the origin. I want that because I want to save on material. And then I'm just going to press send. Ooh, and then look, so now everything, remember how like this was pink, purple, sandy brown. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for this one, it's grouped together because these are the same colors, right? Okay, so because they're grouped together, I'm going to click on that, right click and do pass and then ungroup pass. And and then I'm going to select all of these and I'm going to right click and press group. And let me just like move this around. Okay, and with the Siser, you want to put everything like in the bottom left corner. I know with the Cricuts, we're used to going in the top left corner, but with the Siser, we do the bottom left. So let's just move this over. This is going to be a material roll. Okay, that looks about pretty good. Let's do, oh, you know what? Before we continue, I did not even resize this to my shirt. I was just making sure that it was going to work. Okay, so let's resize this to fit the shirt that I'm supposed to be using. This is that Kate Girl's shirt. She got it off of Shein. I've never actually shopped there. Has anyone shopped there before? Okay, this is the shirt she wants me to use. And I'm just gonna turn this around. Okay, this roll is 12 inches wide, and I think it needs to be a little bit bigger than 12 inches. Okay, so rethinking how I do things. So we'll do it 15 inches wide, and the height is going to be 12, just under 12 inches. And I think that's going to be like a good decal size. Okay, so let me turn this around. I'm gonna go like this and rotate it. Now what I'm gonna do is go to send to Zine, and then I want to make sure selected artwork only. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna move everything to the origin just like we did before and press send. This one right here, remember how like we are gonna be wasting space? Let's right click this, press path, and then ungroup path. I'm gonna need to reselect this line right here, right click and press group. And then I want to put everything down to the bottom left. And I'm rearranging these just so I can save space. You know what I mean? Okay, doing the same thing for all of that. It's all in its origin. This one right here, I'm gonna right click and do the same thing we did before for that other one. I'm gonna go to pass and ungroup pass. And then we're gonna do that. Select just the yours, right click and press group. And then I'm gonna move this cake over just so we're saving material. You definitely don't wanna waste material, right? Okay, and for this, I am using HTV, so I'm gonna mirror, and it mirrored everything, so that's amazing. I am kind of concerned about this one because these two things look different. And I'm concerned about this one because these two things look different. So I have no idea if it's going to cut or not. So here's to hoping. The other thing that I like too is that you can go over here and do an auto weed box. Okay, so let's pray for the best. Let's hope for the best here on if this actually works or not. Okay, because you know I've never designed anything by myself, so I don't know if it's going to work or not. Okay, so I have my machine plugged in. I am just going to open up my very first color. My cake is supposed to be this blue. This is from Tack Wrap. We're gonna go in the order that the machine wants us to go in. Okay, so then with this machine, you always wanna load from the back if you're using like a long roll, which is what I have. This thing needs to be in the down position, the lever. I'm gonna feed this over. I'm gonna line my material up with this like white line that's right here. Press down. And then I'm gonna lift my lever up. Okay, and you can see that it kind of wants to lift a little bit, right? So what I can do is I can push this lever down and I can drag over this like clamping bar. I don't know what the actual technical name is. I just want to make sure the clamping bar is on the grip pad, the black grip pad. Okay, then when I have that, I can pull my material up, pulling the lever back up, and there we go. Oops, forgot to line it back up with the line. Okay, phew. Okay, I am just going to suck my material to where it gets to the very edge of this, right here. Kind of stinks that it's like curled up. I don't know if that's going to change anything. Okay, so let's go over into the cut settings. When you are on the Siser, all of your cut settings are right here on the touch screen. And the last time I used the Siser, I did glitter cardstock, but I am going to change this over to, let's see, HTV, and let's do Easy Weed and press load. Now, Easy Weed is for Siser, the setting that they gave us is Easy Weed for Siser HTV. I am using Tack Wrap's HTV, so I'm not entirely sure if those are gonna work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press this little t-shirt button, and it's going to do like a test cut. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my weeding tool pick. I'm going to eject my material just a little bit and try and find where it cut. And it cut right here, but like this is it. It's so faint because it didn't cut well. So I'm going to eject it back, go suck it back in. I'm going to move my head position just a little bit, and I am going to up the force. And let's press the test cut button. And I already can tell you that this was way too hard. It cut through the carrier sheet. I got a little overzealous on that one. So let's take the force down, way down. Let's go to 20, and I'm going to try another test cut. Okay, doing the same thing, just exit it out, and then we can try and do a weed. Now this one weeded out really good. That was like super good. There was no issues with that cut. So this one is 10 speed, 20 force. I'm gonna align my head away from where these little test cuts were. I'm gonna go back over to the software, and there is a button right here that says area test. If you click that, and then press yes. Okay, that went really fast. You need to pay attention to where this is going. When it goes, it's showing you where it's going to cut. So if this goes off of your material anywhere or even hits like your test cuts, if it hits that, that means that your cut is going to cut there, and so you're gonna have a messed up cut. So doing it one more time, area test, press yes. It looks good. Okay, so just double checking, we have it mirrored. It seems to be, the cuts seem to be perfect. Let's press send to cutter. This is the one I'm most nervous about because that cake and the my cake is two different things, but let's try it. Okay, so let's see if it cut. cut that cake and the my cake, because that's what I'm most concerned about. So all we're gonna do is I'm just gonna feed this up just a little bit. Ooh, and I see that cake. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut it up just a little bit with an X-Acto knife. I'm just gonna cut off the excess just like this, and then also going to do this, making sure not to cut my actual decal. So then here is that decal. Let's weed it and see how well it cut. What do you think? Do you think my settings were good? Look at that. It's weeding perfectly fine. Now, do I have a cake? I do. Look it. Okay. So just because it was two different colors, it didn't change the way that it cut. And let's go over and weed out this cake. Okay, so I have it all weeded out. It weeded out perfectly, and there is that one layer. It looks so stinking good. I'm just gonna cut off the excess because I don't need all of this excess HTV on there. There we go. Okay, so now we want to change the colors. So I'm going to put my lever down, and I'm just going to roll my material back up. Okay, so I need to do the very next color, and it is going to be the green color that's on the design program. It is not automated like the Cricut, so you definitely have to press the green, and now you have this, right? So I'm just going to take and open up my Tech Wrap vinyl, doing the same thing I did before. Put this in here, going backwards. Now, if this was a scrap vinyl, I would probably go from the front, but since it's a really big roll, I'm going from the back. Since this is the same width as my original glue that I used, I'm not going to mess around with the black rollers. I'm going to move my little housing head to the top left corner. Before I do anything, I'm going to do an area test. Okay, perfect. Now I'm just going to send to cutter and press yes. I didn't change the settings or test my cut settings because it's the same branded vinyl that I just used for the blue. So I figured it's going to be the same. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Okay, now that that's done, I'm gonna bring this out, cutting off my excess with my X-Acto knife, sucking this back out. Okay, let's see if those cut settings were good. I'm assuming they will be just because it's the same vinyl brand, but look at that. Okay, so we're Gucci. We're good. Look at the, oh, yep, perfect. I just have to weed out the insides, but we can do that later. Okay, I've already started to prep the next one. Okay, all of the vinyl is done being cut. Okay, and then I went ahead and heated up my heat press, and it's on here for like the inside of the roll. It says Opal is at 275 for 8 to 10 seconds, and it's a cool peel, so just keep that in mind. We're gonna go for the bottom here. I'm gonna line up the bottom with a straight line, and then I'll work my way up. Okay, using my ruler on my table, that was really helpful. Really helpful. That was a great idea. Okay, now that I have that all stuck together, looking good. And because I left excess on my transfer tape, it's all stuck together, which is great. That was like a smart idea on my behalf. Yeah. This I need to put onto the back of the shirt. Okay, I like the placement of that. So let's go over to the heat press and I'll show you how I'm going to put this on. Okay, so I have my machine plugged in. I am just going to, okay, so very first thing you want to keep in mind is that there is like leftover transfer tape in all the spots, right? I'm going to peel off everything but that very bottom layer because we did realize that this is where the starting point of my decal was going to go, correct? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this in just how I have it, put in my silicone transfer tape or silicone mat over the top, and I'm going to press the button. Okay, then I'm just going to open this back up. Okay, then we peel. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Outside of, I am just going to lay this on just like this, the entire thing in its entirety, making sure that it's all lined up still, which I really like. I'm going to take everything off but the second row from the bottom, putting over my silicone mat again, and then repeating the same process as I did before. Okay, doing the same thing. Here is my full decal. I'm just going to lay it back on there. Okay, now I'm going to take off everything but that green one that I'm working on. Sliding it down, pressing. Okay, pulling out. We are almost done. Because there were so many layers, this ended up being a very long project, but I ended up really liking it because it really showed me how to work the program. Okay, so I'm just going to peel off these little pieces because I don't need them right now. I'm going to peel off that top blue. Okay, this one, it is larger than my heat press mat, so I'm just going to go ahead and slide this over. I'm going to need to do the pressing in 2 presses because it's too large for my heat press. So we'll do that. And before I peel, I'm just going to slide this over so I can get that last corner over there. Okay, now that I have that fully peel or heat pressed on there, I'm just going to peel off the entire thing. Now I'm going to recenter the shirt. There we go. Okay, and so for this one, I'm going to be able to do the top layer, but then also I'm going to be able to do these smaller ones because there's no other HTV anywhere else that I need to press. So let's do the pink one right here, the blue one right there. We'll push that in there and then go. Pulling that out. Okay, now that I have everything pressed, and I have been pulling on this when it's hot and kind of like making the decal lift a little bit. And so what I always like to do when I am doing HTV, especially when I'm doing layers like this, is I'm just going to repress this. So I have everything off. I'm just going to put my silicone mat over the top and just repress the entire thing, giving it one good seal. Last press. Okay, now that we have that done, we're going to pull that out. We can turn this off. And here is my finished shirt. Didn't this turn out just so freaking cute? And I designed this all in that Siser program. I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty proud of myself. Look at that. I sure hope you're falling in love with the Siser machine just as me, because I'm telling you, these cuts, how fast it is, this was actually really easy to design. I love it all. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I will see you later.